individuation. So picture the scene. It's the suburbs, and two boys are playing in the yard, an older brother and a younger brother. And they're playing on the side of the garage, and as kids do, they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing exactly because dad has already said, please don't play on the side of the garage when you guys are playing baseball and stuff because it's got windows on that side of the garage and you could hit a window and you're going to break the window, right? So the dad said, just take it to the backyard if you're going to play, or go to the park if you're going to play baseball. Don't play that on the side of the house because you're going to hit a window and the window is going to break. So the kids are like not listening to that because they just kind of got caught up in the game, and they're just tossing the ball, right? And then one of the kids gets the bat, and so they're playing back and forth and they're throwing the ball, then they're hitting the ball. And so the younger brother throws the ball, older brother takes a smack at it. Boom, crack. Yep, you know what happened. He hit the ball directly into the window that his dad was afraid that he was going to break. And that's why his dad told him, don't play baseball over on the side of the garage. So now they got the busted window. Both the kids, they walk up to the window. They're looking at this busted window and they say to each other, oh man, we're going to be in so much trouble. So the older brother says, okay, listen, takes charge. I got a plan. Don't tell dad. So this is the older brother's plan. Just don't tell dad that we broke the window, okay? Don't tell him. The older brother figures they play dumb. They act like they don't know what happened. The dad sees the window and they can blame it on something else and be like, oh my God, I can't believe this window's broken. Younger brother says, we can't tell dad. Older brother, no, whatever you do, don't tell dad, okay? So they go back in the house. Dad's in his den. Younger brother's walking past the den. Dad says, hey, kiddo, what's going on? Younger brother says, nothing, just playing baseball. We didn't break any windows. Older brother going, ah, why did you do that? Why did you say that? Obviously, at that moment, father sense goes on. Is like, you didn't break. Goes inside the garage. I thought I told you guys, right? Now they're in trouble. What the younger brother did there, this is incidental to little kids, right? They don't understand how to properly keep a secret. You ever notice that with little kids? They don't understand how to properly keep a secret sometimes. They don't understand how to lie properly yet. They're not good at it yet. And so they overshare. Coincidentally, when we have developmental trauma, we continue to overshare into our adulthood. It's kind of embarrassing. Are you an oversharer? Can you think of times and situations and things that you said and talked about that retrospect you probably shouldn't have, or you kind of look back and wish you wouldn't have talked about those things or said those things, shared a little bit too much about your personal life or about your past or about your trauma? When we talk too much about our trauma, then we can be guilty of trauma dumping, right? When you're trauma dumping, that's like a coping mechanism, maybe to alleviate your feelings of isolation. Maybe you're seeking validation or something, but you're just talking about all your experiences of your trauma. And so you're sitting there dumping your trauma out onto someone else. Yeah, you wouldn't believe it. It was terrible. I was abused. I was this, I was that, and all this stuff happened to me. And it's more than, well, what the other person bargained for or what they asked for. Sometimes we feel so much shame as trauma survivors. We think people can already see our trauma on us. We feel like maybe they already know that we've been through these experiences. And so we feel like we have to tell, we have to explain. But why is that? Why is it that when we go through trauma, sometimes we feel like we need to be telling people too much? Well, It could be that you're seeking validation from others. It could be that you're concerned about what they're thinking of you. So this is your way of controlling their perception of you, right? So you're concerned that they might be thinking, I don't know, one thing or the other, maybe that you're a bad person, so you try to show them that you're a good person. Or maybe you're concerned that they don't understand where you're coming from, so you're trying to explain where you're coming from, or that you think they think you're guilty, so you're trying to explain that you're not guilty. In these cases, we think we know what the other person's thinking, but really we don't, right? You could be attempting to connect. You could be an overshare, maybe someone who talks a little too much. And it's just coming from a good place. You just want to connect with other people. You could be the type of person who wants someone to understand their pain. For you, it could be a coping mechanism. You have overwhelming emotions and you feel isolated. You feel alone. Or you could be seeking connection, trying to get a friendship, or you could have difficulty with boundaries. Due to the nature of complex trauma, individuals struggle with being able to set and maintain and enforce appropriate boundaries, which can lead to oversharing and inappropriate disclosures. So, what have you overshared? So it's like I'm asking you to share what you've overshared. But maybe you can just think to yourself some of the times that you might have blabbed a little too much. The cousin of oversharing is over explaining. So when we over explain, we're trying to like, like say like get all the pieces and the details in for someone, help them to understand the situation. But we don't need to say as much as we do. We end up being like that kid who incriminated himself when he said, "Hey, but we didn't break a window." He's thinking, I didn't tell dad, but you did because you said too much. You said too much. So some of us regress into being little kids, like teenagers, when we're confronted by our boss or family member, someone with authority. Your boss sees you come in and is like, "Hey, running late today." And you go, "Oh yeah, I was really trying to get here, but I had so much to do between ironing my clothes and taking my kid to school. And when we were on the way to school, the traffic was really bad. And then once we got there, then I ran into my worst enemy. I mean, not that I have enemies. It's just that the person who was there was just mean to me in the past. Like they had some issues with me because we went to high school together. But anyway, I definitely didn't mean to be late. I did actually stop to get a coffee on the way, and all of this over explaining. Did the boss even ask for all that? No. So why are you doing it? Well, when you examine your behavior, it's because you may feel like your boss is going to judge you based on you being late. Your boss is thinking something bad about you. You want them to know that you're not a bad person. You want them to, and you're trying to control and manage their thoughts. Maybe you're trying to give them the information that you think they want. Maybe it's because when you grew up, your parents demanded explanations. And if you didn't say the right thing, you're going to be in big trouble. And so you learn to overshare and you learn to over explain. But let's take it even a step closer to home for almost all of us here. Have you ever tried to tell somebody about something that was special to you, that felt good to you, and then they just shot it down or they're a naysayer? Like you're like, "Oh, I got this really good idea where I could start like this charity and we could give money to the such and such and so and so." And then they're like, "There's already a charity like that." And your energy goes, completely drops. You ever done that? You ever share with someone, "Oh, I'm so excited. I got this new puppy. It's so cute." And then they hit you with did you take it to get his vaccination shots? You have to take it within the first 30 days. Otherwise, blah, blah, blah. And you're just like, Oh, I'm failing. I'm failing. I'm a failure. Thanks a lot. Thanks. Never do that. The naysayers. How do we handle this situation with the naysayers? The fact that you share with someone something that feels good to you, that you're excited about, and then they shoot it down or do something to undercut your energy. How do we cope with that? How do we handle the naysayers? The fact that people can be so negative when we're feeling positive. It can be really extreme when we're dealing with a narcissist, right? They don't hesitate when they see you happy and feeling good, then that's their go-to move is to bring you down, right? Because a narcissist is an emotional abuser. So they don't like you having your own individuated emotions. So the narcissist wants to make sure they're controlling your emotions. So the narcissist will see you in a good mood and then start hitting you on your pressure points. Maybe they'll start pouting or they'll look angry and you'll be like, "Is everything okay?" You gave them the opening they needed. No, it's not okay. How could it be okay when I have a husband like you, a wife like you? And then they start going in, hitting you where it hurts. You don't care about anything except yourself. You don't really love our children. You do, and they start creating all this stuff, and you're like, now you think you're supposed to be defending yourself. Like, I do love our children. What are you talking about? I do love you. I do care about other people besides myself. And now you're back on the over explaining, justify, defend. And the narcissist is got you just where they want you. That's what I wanted. I didn't like that happy, confident feeling that you had before. This feels a lot better. Where you're, what? Well, why do you think that? No, I. It's not fun to be controlled by a narcissist, is it? But not everyone who shoots us down is a narcissist. Sometimes they're just not matching our energy. And so you're excited, like, hey, I just got admitted into school. And then say, oh, really? What school? And you say, oh, such and such university. And they go, oh, everybody gets admitted into that. Boom, energy down. And you feel like, why did I even share that with them? So my question to you is, why did you even share that with them? That person that shot you down, even if they weren't a narcissist, why did you share that information with them? Why do you tell people your good news? That is my question to you. Why do you open up your ideas to people, your heart to people, your precious gems? Why do you throw it out there? Human nature, searching for connection because you trusted the person to share your goodness, the goodness of God. Well, I would like to share something with you. It's misguided. It's misguided to walk up to people and give them information that they don't need. Sometimes we do it for acceptance. Sometimes we do it for validation. Sometimes we're doing this because we feel pressured, but it is misguided to give people information that we shouldn't be giving them information for. Not everybody deserves certain privileges and access, right? So, how do we know when we should and when we shouldn't? How do we know who the safe people are? Well, I would like to invite you to change your perspective on how you handle your information in general. I would like you to change your perspective. Most people, most people are not the right person to share your personal information with. Most people are not the person to share with. A lot of times, our failure to keep our information to ourselves is because we have developmental trauma and we haven't individuated. It's because we haven't individuated. When you are a properly individuated person, then you don't need a validation from someone else. You don't need an attaboy, attagirl from another person. You don't need a, oh my God, I'm so excited too. You don't need to share with other people because you're having a good day and you want them to have this good day with you. You don't need another person. That's codependency. You don't need another person to feel the feeling that you feel when you feel the feeling. You can just have your own feelings. Individuation is realizing that your joy belongs to you. It's yours. It's not everyone else's or someone else's. We have to get out of the habit of saying, oh, I feel really good right now. Oh my goodness, I need to call someone. Or I feel really upset right now. I need to call someone. No, you don't. Your feelings belong to you. They are yours. They're not for you to give to another person, get them in on the feeling like it's a gang thing, like we got to do this together. No, you just have your own feelings. That's individuation, and you have to practice it. You have to practice having your own feelings. Allow yourself to feel excited. Well, get some good news. Get a piece of mail. It comes in. You're accepted to the such and such. Get the news. I want you to practice keeping it to yourself for a while before you tell someone else. That's what I want you to do this week. I want you to keep your feelings to yourself for a little while before you call someone else and vent. No venting. No venting. It's not healthy. It sounds healthy. It's not healthy. You're not a humid bathroom. You don't need to vent. You don't need to vent. You need to process your own emotions. You need to process. When you're feeling good, don't pick up the phone. Don't try to share with someone. When you're working on an idea, you got a really good idea, a business idea, right? This is a gem. You're really excited about it. And then somebody they're talking to you. They go, hey, what's new? Don't tell them your new idea. Do not share your new idea. Do not share your new idea. Why? Why don't we share new ideas with people? When you want to start a business or you have this creative pursuit, why don't we share that with other people? Why don't we share with people our dreams? And I mean anyone. I don't mean just with narcissists. I mean with anyone. Why don't you share with anyone your new ideas? Because they could steal our idea? No, no. People use you? No, that's not why. We're not even sharing our ideas with healthy people. Why do we not want to share new ideas with even healthy people? Peter says bad vibes. That is actually correct. Burst your bubble. That is correct. Because when you share a new idea with someone, it's fragile. Your new idea is in chrysalis stage. Okay, so if you put it into someone else's hands, they might flatten your idea. Hey, I was thinking, maybe we could like get some people in the community together and like start a book drive. And then they can just not even be a bad person and just be like, oh, I think the library already does something like that. Not realizing that they're stomping on your joy and that they're squashing your creativity. Just well-meaning people will tell you, hey, no, you shouldn't start YouTube. You should go to college. Or, hey, no, you shouldn't go to college. You should start. They will tell you advice that's contrary to what's best for you. And they don't mean any harm. Do you understand? It is dangerous to share your little ideas when they're in the chrysalis stage, when you're forming them with someone else because they're still fragile. So you want to think about it like a little seedling, right? Like a little plant that's still just growing, but it's small, like a tree, right? When it starts out, it's just this little sprout, right? You don't take that little sprout and think you can hang a tire swing from it, right? You wait until it's an oak tree, like it's a fully grown oak tree, strong, great root system, big, strong branches, right? Branches bigger than my body. Then you hang a tire swing from it. Does that make sense? So recognize that your ideas right now, they're a little seedling. They're just small. They're too fragile to expose to other people, to put them out for other people's scrutiny, for their feedback, for their ideas. You don't tell people your ideas until they're an oak tree. You let people know once the book is finished. You let people know once the movie's already in theaters. If you get accepted into a school, let them know when you graduated. Don't tell people the things when they're still in a formation in the seedling stage. Well, okay, you're saying we can't talk to anyone? The exception would be the people who are your co-conspirators, the people who are a part of that project. So if there's other people who are a part of the project, you could talk to them about the project. But you don't talk to other people who aren't a part of the project. If they're not in that tribe, it's none of their business because you're putting yourself out in a way that's vulnerable. And again, even well-meaning people can squash your joy. Many of us have situations with our parents where they said something that crushed our dreams, and our parents didn't even know. And again, it doesn't even necessarily have to be a moment of abuse or neglect on their part. They just didn't know. And you've done it to others, or you didn't match their energy and you squashed somebody's dream. You did it too to people. You know why? Because their dreams belong to them. It's important because your dream is fragile but valuable that you protect it and you keep it close. And you don't share with someone who's outside of the tribe of people who are helping you get this done. So if you have a therapist, trauma specialist, and they're going to be helping you to get it done, you can share with them. If you have a coach in that area, your coach, you can share with them. If you have a partner in the business, you can share with them. An employee whose direct role needs the information, then you can give the information they need. But we don't share information with people that people don't need. Does that make sense? Don't share information with people that they don't actually need. I know sometimes we get excited and we want to talk. We just want to chat. We want to have that fellow feeling. But when you do that, you just doom yourself. You just doom yourself to just keeping it there. You never actually accomplish your dreams. You just keep it at the talking stage. Those who are efficient at accomplishing their dreams aren't talking about it. They just do it and then it's done. They focus on the doing. They focus on the getting it done. They talk to their team, but they don't talk to random people about what they're hoping to accomplish one day. Don't do that. That's what's going to kill all of the dreams. Don't kill the dreams. Protect them. Likewise, your information gives knowledge, and knowledge is power. Information gives knowledge, and knowledge is power. So stop giving your power away. Stop giving your power away. When you walk in and you're late for work and your boss says, "Hey, running a little late today, I see." Don't give too much information. Only give people what they need. And if you don't know what they need, then you need to ask. Here's how this works. Boss says, "Hey, see, it looks like you're coming in late today." I say, "Yes, I am so sorry. Won't happen again." Did you notice how much information I gave there? Zero to none, right? I didn't explain anything. This is how I avoid over explaining. Let me give that to you again. "Hey, see you coming in late. I say, yeah, my bad. Not going to happen again. No explanation. No explanation means no excuses. No excuses is a very strong position. I took responsibility though, didn't I? Yeah, that's my bad. So I'm going to fix it. Then my boss says to me, where were you? And what do? I give him only the information that he actually needs. I give him only the information that he actually needs. In some cases, because all relationships with bosses and employees are different, in some cases, he could actually be out of line asking me that question. He doesn't need to know where I was. So I could set a boundary there if I feel that he is out of line and say, you need to know where I was by asking that question. I'm setting a boundary. You need to know where I was. I'm sorry. Is that one of the requirements of this position that I let you know where I was before I come to work? Ooh, why am I setting a boundary? Because maybe in some situation, in this situation, I recognize that's not even any of his business. But what if he does ask something that is his business, right? So what if he says, hey, what's taking so long on the report? He's asked me now for some direct information. So again, I need to make sure I only give him the information he needs. And so what we have to do with to stop over explaining is stop assuming we know what someone wants to know. We don't know what they want to know. You don't know what they want to know. So when he says to me, hey, well, I forgot what I asked. What's taking so long with the report, or what are you working on the report? I can ask him to be more specific. Um, yeah, good question. I just want to make sure I understand your question. Are you wanting to know what I still have to finish on the report, or are you wanting to know what I've already gotten done on the report? Right? You're the keeper of all this information, but it's actually you got to look at it as bad for you to give someone too much information. Like that's offensive. You look at it like, hey, I don't want to offend you by boring you with too much information. So let me only give you what you really are looking for. When you ask those questions, those qualifying questions, it can save you and the other person a huge headache because everyone doesn't want to know everything all the time. And so he says, no, no, I just need to know what you had done. And I go, oh, that makes me feel better to know he's not asking what I still need to do. He's asking what I already have done, and I can show off what I have done. And what you'll find out a lot of times when you ask people why they're asking something or what specifically they want to know, you find out a lot of times people had really good intentions behind their question. They'll be like, are you busy right now? And instead of being like, yeah, because I got to go to the such and such, and I gotta go, you can just be like, why do you ask? And then they go, oh, because I need someone to babysit. Or, oh, because I need help with, or can you hold this for me? And you'll be like, oh, that's why they asked. They didn't really want to know about your business. They just wanted to know, can you help them? Right. And then you can deal with and address the actual situation. So let's stop assuming that we know what another person is thinking or needs to hear or needs to know. Ask them, well, tell me exactly what it is you're asking for. Why are you asking that? What do you need to know? And then that way you can tailor the information in a way that's going to be really what they're looking for instead of just talking and trying to find our way as you're speaking. Ever do that? You're talking and talking so much, you're trying to find your way there. Like, did I cover it yet? 10 minutes go by. I'm going to tell you, healthy people hear you oversharing and over explaining, and they want to keep their distance. Healthy person hear you oversharing, over explaining, and they see that you are making yourself so vulnerable that makes them uncomfortable to potentially be put into a position where they would be taking advantage of you or look like they're taking advantage of you because you make yourself too vulnerable with all the over explaining and all the oversharing. And so they take a step back. That's what healthy people do when they see all the over explaining and the oversharing. Predators and narcissists and abusers, as soon as they see that, that's their sign that you are the one. You are the target. You ever ask, why do I keep attracting predators and abusers and narcissists? Because you do a lot of this, because you're open. So when they ask you a question, they see that you really are trying to appease. They see all of that. That's weakness. They see all that fawning. They love it. That's perfect. The narcissists and abusers are attracted to the fawning. They're attracted to all of your desperation to connect, your desperation to explain, and you're oversharing because it already is creating an equation where they give very little. They just ask you a question. What's that? And then you, this is perfect for them. This is perfect because that's the kind of relationship they want where they give little and you do all the work. So let's keep in mind knowledge is power. So we don't give our power away to other people. Let people talk about their favorite subject, which is themselves. When you're in social situations and you want to chat, ask them questions about themselves. How are you feeling? How are you doing today? You can share your oak trees. You can share your oak trees. I've completed my book. You should check it out. It's available on Amazon. Or, yes, I have a YouTube channel that's thriving right now. I'm very happy to share that with you. Or I just graduated from the Institute of, and they're like, I didn't even know you were in school. Well, yeah, I wasn't, sure if I was going to finish, but I made it. So now I'm sharing it with you. Does that make sense? I started a business last year and it's thriving quite well. And your oak trees, you share the oak trees because now you can hang a tire swing from them because they're strong. People can't crush it and tell you how it's a dumb idea because it's not an idea anymore. You've already changed the world. And just remember, you don't know what they want to hear. So ask, hey, what exactly are you asking for? What do you need? What exactly, why, right? You ask questions about their questions, and then that will help you to give them just the information that they actually need.